also, a little portable recorder to try to get EVPs. And I was packing the morning I was leaving to go to Ghettysburg, and my ghost box and my little recorder were gone. Always kept them the same place together. So I ended up going to Ghettysburg without the ghost box. I have never found the ghost box. I found the recorder hidden in some painting supplies.
Wow.
Nowhere near where I had it stored. There's nowhere. I would have put it there. No one else would have been into those painting supplies. I'd still like to find my ghost box.
Yeah, those are expensive. What will happen is one day you'll be doing something, and it'll be on the opposite side of the house, and there it is,
Yeah, but I've had things like I had a temporary tool workbench set up, kept my tools there in the living room, and one day I went to get a screwdriver, and all my straight slotted screwdrivers were gone. Not the Phillips, just the straight slotted. I have found them all different odd places since then.
Well, back to, you go back that time frame and stuff. I mean, Phillips had screws weren't, it was mainly the flat slotted, the normal screwdriver, not the Phillips head.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Phillips is a later invention.
Oh, yeah. Wow. Have you had anything appear that it wasn't yours? All of a sudden, there it is, sitting there, and you can't figure out where it came from?
I can't recall anything quite like that. Anything that has appeared has been things that belong to us, but they had either been missing or we had not put them there. I've never seen anything physically move. Probably the weirdest thing, I had a friend helping me redo, we did an upstairs water damaged ceiling. We redid it in drywall.
Uh-huh.
The room, it's part of the 1835 part of the house. The room is actually like 6 inches wider in the back than it was in the front. And we were having all kinds of troubles. At the end of the day, I told my friend, I held up my T-square and tape measure, and I joked, and I said, they obviously didn't have these when they built this room. I put them on the tray of the step ladder, and we left. We came back the next morning, a Sunday morning, and the T-square and the tape measure were gone. And my friend says, look, and over in the next room, which is an 1869 edition, which is a little more square, in the smack in the middle of that room was the T-square and the tape measure.
Oh.
Nobody would have been in the house in between when we left and when we came back.
Well, it sounds like you probably insulted the entity.
I think so,
Yeah.
And that was their way of getting our attention.
Yeah, I was saying, well, pardon the expression, screw you.
Yes.
Yeah, but that would, I don't know. I couldn't live in a house like that. My hat's off to you and your wife. I mean, I just couldn't do that. I mean, I don't know. But I know my curiosity is, have you had, like you with your computer, have you had any strange things happen to any of your electronic stuff?
Well, when I had my former computer was touchscreen, ended up getting blasted by lightning, but I didn't dare leave it on if I left the room. At first it would be random programs from the desktop would be opened, but then I came back and I started seeing I had a backup copy of my ghost book. I met a ghost at Ghettysburg on the desktop. That would be open, and it's happened 3 or 4 different times, and each time a different chapter was open.
Yeah.
After that, I would not leave the room and leave it open. I didn't want something to be messed up, one of my files.
Yeah, right. Yeah. Or how about files?
And when I replaced the computer, I did not get a touchscreen computer.
Yeah. Oh, wow. I'm surprised you didn't, turn your computer on and have this face come in, on the screen and, scream at you or something. I don't know. Well, how long have you lived there at this point?
We have been living here. We've owned the house for close to 10 years. We spent several years working on it. It was in very bad shape. We've been been living here, I think 3 years now.
Oh, wow. Did you ever, when you were remodeling the walls and stuff like that, when you were tearing the walls out? Because, guys, back then they didn't use plasterboard like we do now. It was either plaster on, wire mesh or something like that. Yeah. Did you ever find anything strange in the walls when you were doing any alterations or anything?
Nothing real strange. I did find in the basement, as we were cleaning out the basement, I found the barrel of a flintlock pistol, looked to be of military caliber, but it was just the barrel. That was unusual. We found a lot of toys, and there was a young boy who drowned in the creek in the 1950s. Drowned in the creek back to the house, and pretty much his toys, a lot of his belongings were left here when we bought the house, either in the basement or in the extra bedroom, and we found different things. Like one of the toys had a wheel, a rubber wheel missing, and I was doing some work out front, cleaning up around one of the cement step slabs, and this wheel popped out that belonged to that toy.
Oh, wow.
Which I thought was kind of interesting, but nothing really that would, beyond the gun barrel, that would really reach out and grab you. Just odds and end things, old tools, old drill bits. And the original Ames family had this for years, and Nathaniel Ames was a carpenter. So we do find some old carpenter tools around.
How about, digging around the yard and stuff? I bet, like I talk to people who had old houses and farmhouses, and they start digging, they find old medicine bottles, old whiskey bottles and stuff like that, and beer bottles going back, 100 or so years or more.
We did find a vanilla extract glass bottle just off where the back porch would have been in the 1869 edition, and on researching it, it dated between 1870 and 1874.
Oh, wow.
So that would have been the Ames family who did the house addition, built the barn on the property.
Yeah. Well, and how often is it still going on? I mean, when you first moved in, was it more active than it is now, and it kind of like simmered down?
Mm-hmm. When we first got the property, it was an occasional thing until we really started, I guess, the hot and heavy restoration work. And it did seem, as so often must be the case, that the more work was going on, the more active the house was. We recently completed our kitchen, and when we were working on that, it seemed to be more activity. But mainly what we hear now are the child footsteps upstairs, mainly at night when we're sleeping, and we'll hear, it sounds like a child playing with like necklaces that my wife has hanging on the nightstand, and just different things, mainly centered around our bedroom or the hallway outside.
And you were saying, too, at one time that, like, somebody would sit on your bed type of thing and it was nobody there?
That was my grandmother.
Grandmother, okay. Yeah.
In her younger years. I say that one of the weirdest things I have, and once my underwear was snapped working out back behind the house.
That's not fun.
Area. No one was around me, and it snapped. Not that it actually hurt, but it got my attention.
Wow.
And there was no possible explanation for that.
I bet you were bending over too when it happened, right?
Yes, I was.
Yeah,
exactly.
Yeah, perfect timing. Get you, guy. Wow. So on your book, how long a read is it? Where can they find it at? And
I tend to have. I wrote the book very much like I write my weekly column. It's very. It's kind of a light read. I try to use a little bit of humor. I try to keep it factual. I keep it to things that either I saw or experienced or were related to me. I try to talk a little bit about some of the science and the theories behind it. You can get the book from actually my Faded Banner Publications website, which is www.fadedbanner.com. Also have a separate website for this book. It's imetaghost.com. And, of course, it's available on Amazon and in bookstores. If the bookstore isn't stocking it, they can order it for you.
Now, are you planning to write any more books about the paranormal?
Yes. This was originally, my thought was to do one book and be done. I've had some pretty incredible experiences since I've written the book. I've been open to it. I've gone on some investigations, and I'm working on the follow-up book now. I hope to have it out later this year.
Oh, wow. Yeah, you got more courage than I do, Like I said, for about 16 years, I worked in a situation like that, but it never really happened to me till probably about 14 or 15 years working there. And then all of a sudden it happened to me, and it was just enough where it scared me. And, I don't like being in buildings at night. I don't like being even in the house at night. I had another situation where my daughter's boyfriend got killed in Tacoma next to my house, right in the alley, right next to the house. And I had, he was in the Indian tribe, Muckleshoot. And he was shot by the police, and I don't want to go into it, but it was pretty bad. And then, a couple days after he, was dead, before he was even, buried in the cemetery, all of a sudden I would be half asleep, and I swore, I kept telling myself it was a dream, but it happened a couple times in a row. He would be standing there next to the bed to me and saying, "It's okay. I don't blame you for calling the police. And, I'm sorry," that type of thing. It shook me up so bad. I called up the tribe. They didn't have a medicine man, but they had a medicine woman who did a cleansing of my house, and it vanished. But it was enough situation where me and my wife said, "Hey, it's time we move out of Tacoma and move where we did. We didn't want to live in that house anymore."
Well, I can understand that.
So I don't like ghosts at all. So, but
I've always felt a close connection to history, and I guess the fact that I am familiar with the history of the house, the people who were here, they were good people. I don't know of any bad experiences. I think, we're not sure, but we believe the identity of the little girl that is seen here. She did not die in the house, but this was her grandparents' house. She died probably about a mile from here in her home. She died of a horrible case of bone cancer, in 1883.
Oh, wow. Painful.
And she was like 9 years old, and we believe it may be her. She's buried in the cemetery just down the road, and everything seems to match that, particular thing. So, this would have been a place that she felt comfortable. I actually had a medium at an event I was at stop me. I had never met this woman. She didn't know who I was. Stopped me to tell me that I had a little girl spirit attached to me. And she proceeded to describe the little girl that the gentleman delivering the clothes washer had seen, only in more detail. And she said, "She likes you. She likes being around you." And that took me aback.
Yeah, that could be a book right there. You know that, Don?
Yeah, I plan on addressing that in my upcoming book, actually.
Hey, Don, that hour has just really moved fast. Again, tell everybody you can get your book at Amazon. Give it, again, the name of the book. And
Sure.
Yeah.
It's I Met a Ghost at Ghettysburg, a journalist's journey into the paranormal. It's pretty widely available. You can get it at www.imetaGhost. You can read more about me and the book there as well. Order it from the website or www.fadedbanner.com. Faded Banner Publications. Again, you can read more about me, my other books, and the I Met a Ghost book as well there.
Okay. Hey, Don, we're going to go ahead and put it up on our website, too, for our listeners can, research it and maybe order it. Order the book.
Great. I would be very pleased.